My apologies. Okay. Welcome to the Decapitation Station. This is Pack Lawton. This is Concrete King TV. And this was an impromptu last minute broadcast. I was trying to kill some time and I saw something really powerful that had been the topic of conversation a lot recently surrounding the election. And then I happened to walk in on the conversation with some family members not too long after that, right? So I definitely want to address it. And as some of you may see in the video link that I shared, I'm talking about abortion. Now, here on the Decapitation Station, what I do is I address controversial topics and things that most cases are more fiction than fact. And I provide facts to support wherever the facts lay, you know, to either validate or decapitate the narrative. And in most cases, it'd be agendas, right? So I'm going to withhold my judgment on abortion this time. And all I'm going to do is present some information surrounding the narrative, a narrative that I once followed, because it sounds righteous when you look at it from the outside looking in. And that is this, that in the case of woman's health, where there's a high-risk pregnancy for either her or the baby, the woman's health, the baby's health, or the cases of rape, then abortion should be allowed. Right. Now, I won't speak on the other situations, right? Because people be having all type of situations. So what I'm going to do, I'll just address those. Also, incest, that's been coming up now. That's a big thing. And I'm really confused on that because do they mean incest as far as rape, as far as young girls getting taken advantage of, and within the family, and a lot of stuff that goes on, like some Color Purple type stuff, or are they talking about kissing cousins where people just doing shit? Because in cases like that, I don't know, that still look like an out. It still look like people just running from responsibility and don't want to, make the bed that they laid in. But is it fair for a child in that situation, right, where family members may have both been consenting adults? Is it fair for that child to be born into that situation? So incest was one of the main speaking points concerning abortion as of late, right? Where the woman's health, baby's health and rape have always been strong talking points, which I supported. However, I noticed that as time went on and as support for abortion grew stronger over the years, a lot of people who had never experienced rape were listing that as reasons for abortions. I might be talking to a young lady and she may say that she had got one and she's going to get one, right? And then we'll start talking about abortion and the morale surrounding it, and they'll talk about rape, right? But that wasn't their case. That wasn't their situation. I even asked one young lady, well, how many pregnancies in the Black community do you feel like are attributed to rape? And do you know she said 50%? I said 5 out of 10. 25 out of 50, 50 out of 100, 500 out of 1,000. Are you fucking kidding? I told her, you hate Black men if you really believe that, right? But as long as people, for some people, they can brainwash themselves into believing that, or they can follow popular narratives without really applying any research or study to it or any logic and take that and run with it. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to react and show y'all, well, not react, I already watched this video, right, where these gentlemen were presenting some statistics surrounding those narratives and that conversation. Now, I am not a member of their organization. I'm gonna give y'all a disclaimer right now. This is not about what they believe in spiritually. This is not about any of that, right? This is about what you believe in. And we're going to touch on the spiritual aspect of it too, because I saw something concerning that in the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's go ahead and get to it. This is from IUIC in the classroom.
Because the Most High put us here to wake us up. The Most High put us here to wake us up. All right. I want to make this point before I play my first video. I want to make this point that in this class and lesson, we will explore the pragmatism needed to keep righteousness at our frontal sight. Pragmatism. Pragmatic. Let's look up that word pragmatic. Let's look up that word pragmatic. Pragmatic.
This is the definition of pragmatic. Dealing with
This
things.
is the root word to the word pragmatism. That's what I was bringing this up. Come on with it.
Dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations.
I like that definition because that's exactly what it is. Being pragmatic means no nonsense. Being pragmatic means that you have to have a certain level, a serious level of discipline. No nonsense, no playing games. It's brass tacks. We got to get down to the bone and get it done. Pragmatic. I actually use that word a lot in our UIC way back, like 10 years ago. I always used to talk about being pragmatic. This is what I was talking about. Read it again.
Dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical.
It's based on real things. It's based on like what we have here. It's practical. We got brothers and sisters that's got talents, brothers and sisters that's got special skills, brothers and sisters that got know-how. Like I talked about last week, we retired from our jobs, took our professions, whatever we did, and we said there's a need in the nation. There's a need right here in the body. Instead of me hanging my trophy, so to speak, on the wall, talking about, so let me sit back and collect my pension and blah, blah, blah. Let me take what I've learned and teach these young and cultivate them.
That's right.
That's the word, cultivate. You see that they're going to the left and to the right. You need to make sure that they walk straight. Grab that little son, grab that little daughter. Say, listen, cultivate these skills here. Okay? Where we at? Read this thing again, pragmatic, because I'm going to look at these words down here.
Yes, sir. Dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. Similars, practical.
Being practical, go ahead.
Matter of fact.
A matter of fact.
Realistic.
Realistic.
Sensible.
Sensible.
Down to earth.
Down to earth.
Commonsensical.
Commonsensical. This is what I was saying. It got to be based on real sense. Go ahead.
No nonsense.
That's one our people love to use, common sense. They put common sense over book smarts, which in many cases it is, because if you got book smarts and don't have common sense, you might not turn out too good. But you can have common sense and not necessarily have book smarts and still turn out just fine. So yeah, it's good to be pragmatic.
Sense.
No nonsense. Wait. I looked at you, skipped the word. I see nonsensical, but I see some other words.
Hard-headed.
I want that. Hard-headed, stubborn, unbending, disciplined, hard like flint, hard-headed. That's what that's talking about. Unwavering. Go ahead.
Expedient.
Expedient. Got to go down. Go ahead.
Businesslike.
Go ahead.
Rational.
Go ahead.
Reasonable.
Go ahead.
No nonsense.
No nonsense. That's what I was saying earlier. Go ahead.
Unsentimental.
I ain't got time for yellow makes me sad. Unsentimental. I'm all sad. No. Go ahead.
No.
Unidealistic.
Go ahead.
Hard-nosed.
Hard-nosed.
Like
So now we got some understanding about we have to be pragmatic. We come out of this because you see the opposites there. Okay. So when I'm making a point, I said that we must explore the pragmatism that's needed in order to keep us on the righteous path and to keep those righteous paths in our frontal lobes, in our frontal sight. Okay? And these are the things that our daddies should have taught us. Okay, I was talking about the absence of fathers earlier, and we recognize that the generations before us, our fathers, our grandfathers, and so forth, they caught hell in this system. And a lot of them have been shunted out and just basically kicked to the curb, and they don't even see the war that set it all up. So our fathers should have been able to tell us these things, but they were not able to. Some might argue to say, well, it's their fault. Some might say that it's not their fault. But look at what happened as a result of that. Our women have completely lost their minds. Our men have completely lost their minds. And sin have just came in like a flood.
And the kids have completely lost their damn mind.
But it's time. It's hard times. Hard times is what creates strong men. When you see crap like this, you got to do something. Y'all all right? And that's what hard times do. Kicks you in your behind hard. And make you get up. Y'all all right? When your back is against the wall, that's when you do your best fighting. Huh? That's when you do your best fighting. You fighting kitchen sinks that weren't even around you. You fighting them to club the hell out that dude. Y'all all right? You find strength. Y'all all right? Hard times. Put that up there. Just show that. I ain't going to go through it. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. But when we get to the good times, we don't need to get lazy and falling asleep. Because when you do that, you become weak.
Sidebar, ladies and gentlemen. Hard times create strong men, right? So when your son becomes of age and he's not where he needs to be, that don't mean let him stay there till he's 30. I heard so many women say, I'm not putting my kids out. I'm not making my kids leave. They can come back home. They can always come back home. I'm always keep a place for them to come back to. I understand the premise. But that could be dangerous. It's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? You don't provide no haven for men, no rest haven for grown men, unless you his wife. And he still need to be providing that roof, and you just making it peaceful for him to rest in, right? And that includes your son. But he don't need to be providing no roof for you. That's your husband's job. However, we don't always do things that way. That's fine. We ain't calling nobody out, but we're gonna call out this cap. That we gonna do.
Men and a whole bunch of weak men, yellow make me sad, simp brothers will bring on the hard times again. Y'all all right? That will bring the weak men, and the weak men create softness. And your whole nation is ran through by a bunch of pillagers, and you just sitting there on the sidelines crying like a woman. No. So you need that hard, swift kick in the butt.
The pragmatism.
Give me my first video.
Was it
This is the hard times. This is where we at as a result of not applying God's vision through the elders. Now, I played some of this last week, but we getting ready to move on through this. Okay. I've trimmed it all out. All you got to do is hit the button and just let them roll. Go.
And for the record, no, I'm not a Christian.
Hard times. This is what hard times did. We went to sleep.
What would you say is now the #1 cause of death of the African American community?
Heart disease.
Oh, HIV/AIDS.
Diabetes, cancer, AIDS.
I'll say heart disease. AIDS.
From what I heard, it's probably AIDS, you know.
Probably heart disease. I think heart disease.
HIV.
I'm in the middle of a live. I'm gonna call you as soon as I get ready to leave out. All right.
Gang violence.
What if I told you the real answer was abortion?
Shock. Pause it for a second. Pause it. He was like, I would have never thought of that.
None of them thought of that. I would have said heart disease, murder, and abortion. But I consider abortion to be murder. So that's what I would have said.
All of the people naming everything else except that. You want to know why? Because the media have blinded us to the thing that's literally killing us the most. Because we went to sleep to common sense. We went to sleep to things that's happening right up on our nose, and we're watching TV, watching stuff on the news and all of that stuff, and we're getting carried away with that, but not even looking at the things that's killing us the most. Why? Because the fathers were knocked off. A father would point these things out if he was able to be here and to be in his right mind. He would notice how things just changed. You realize that the growth of black people in this country in terms of the percentages has not grown much since the 1970s. It's still roughly the same. They said that we was like 12-13%. This is what they say now. 12-13% of the U.S. population, and it's damn near still the same way right now. So abortions were basically used
being born
to keep us from growing. And look at the slick way that they did it. All of the different avenues throughout all of this media, even in your school systems, every avenue that they could have used to prevent you.
And for those of y'all who think this is just a conspiracy theory and he's just speaking his opinion, au contraire, mon frere, because Margaret Sanger, the lady who founded Planned Parenthood, is an admitted eugenist. She was part of the eugenics. She was into eugenics, right? And she's already been uncovered and been quoted so many times for saying who she felt like should be aborted and why she felt like abortion was necessary. Let that be the motherfucking reason. Let that be the reason. There we go.
From bringing on more seed, bringing more children. Now they're talking about something, you can get the pill to kill the baby. Like I told that last week. I'm working in a hospital facility, and it wasn't Ephraim. Pardon me, Ephraim. I said it was Ephraim. It was Simeon. Simeonite came in. Yeah, came in, and they said, because it was him. He looked like he was about 19. His girlfriend was about 17 years old. Real young. She looking at in the days like she didn't know where she was at. He came up to me and he said, where is the part of the hospital where I could go to get the pill that kills the baby? That's exactly how he said it. I ain't never gonna forget. I mean, the look that he had, he said it nonchalantly, like it was not a thought. Where's the part of the hospital I can go get this pill to kill this baby? That's how he said it. And she just standing there like she don't know what the hell's going on. But when talk like that becomes normal, you know we've lost it. You know we've lost it. I played a clip when I was in Miami a couple of weeks ago of a sister that called in the clubhouse. Her name was Life. And I was blown away by what she said. It was live on Clubhouse now. I hit the button. Boop. I said, I got to get this. And I played it back while I was down there. Go back, brothers and sisters, because I didn't cue it up here. Go back to the videos of a couple of weeks ago when I was in Miami with Captain Zakar, to my brothers and sisters out there. Shout out to IUIC Miami. But the sister was making a point that she was getting ready to she went to the abortionist clinic, was getting ready to get the baby chopped up, basically. I'm gonna call it like it is, murdered. And her phone, God rang her phone. That's what happened. The Most High rang her phone and she answered it. And it was her gynecologist calling.
Wow.
And they said, where are you? She said, well, I'm getting ready to have an abortion. They said, stop right there. Get out of there. Come to the office. She came to the office, and how many weeks did she say she was? Huh? You got it? Hit the button, man. Hit the button. Hit the button. I ain't even got to talk. Hit the button. Shoot. Listen to this here. Got to download it? Okay, well, make sure you get it. See, them brothers on point. Hey, where was my crew last week? No, I'm just kidding. I say it. I'm watching y'all, though. I'm watching y'all. Yeah, I got to do it, man. Keep on your toes, man. I know I had the crew over there last week, but I had to get on y'all a little bit. You know, you got it. This was, like I said, this was Clubhouse. Brothers was on, and sister called in, and the subject was about, because this was, I don't know if Kamala had lost or were they still battling? They were talking about it, right? Okay. I don't think the election had went down at this point. I'm not sure. I don't think it did. So this was a few days before the Super Tuesday, as they call it, where all the black women was upset and mad. Yeah, I know that's what it was, because after that, the women went wild and crazy. They said Clubhouse went berserk. People like throwing furniture, burning up furniture and all that.
That's crazy. I was talking to a young lady that day, or after the results came in, and she was upset and she was mad, and I asked her why. And she said, "Cuz I got 2 daughters." I can't make this shit up. Well, I could, but I don't, and I wouldn't, and I won't. Because this is a decapitation station, and that'll be some cap.
You know, kill the cat. The dog didn't mean anything no more. You know, you got it? It's still downloading? All right, I'm getting held up. Well, y'all let me know when you get it. But anyway, the sister said that she went and the doctors, her gynecologist, told her, said, "Look, let me show you what's happening." And she said that with I'm trying to remember the time frame. She said at such and such a time, it was early. That's what I want y'all to hear. That's the only part I really need to hear, because I could tell the rest of it. I just don't remember what stage she was at. And you know, and the doctors had basically told her that it was just clot of cells and all that to make her think that she was killing nothing. And when she went to have the ultrasound, it showed that the baby had a head, fingers, arm, a whole human being, and that was about to be destroyed. And that messed her up. That messed her up. And the thing was, when she was talking, we got silent. I heard everybody that, listen, let this sister talk, because she was giving us a perspective that we as men, we don't know about. We put the baby in them, but we don't know nothing about. Can you dig it? You understand what I'm saying? There's a level of trauma that the woman could explain. And the point is, society.
I hope people can hear me up until now. I had the sound coming out the speakers when it should just be coming through here. But because I'm hearing it in here, I didn't know. I know it was down, but it wasn't all the way down.
Don't let you hear stuff like this, because they want the women to think that it's okay. But every time they go in there and do that damn thing, their mind is all messed up, because they know in spirit that they've committed murder. How in the world is the word abortion don't mean stop? The minute that seed, the minute that sperm hit the egg, boom,
If it's not alive,
life is there. That means that's it.
If it's not alive, then you can't abort it. If it has
You got it? I'm looking at it right here. Just listen up, brothers and sisters. Just bear with me. Come on with it.
Nothing here. All right. So next up, we got life. Life, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you for welcoming me on the stage. The topic, reproduction rights, help or harm Black women. It harmed Black women. I was so angry.
Elaborate.
It harmed Black women simply because they're deceived.
Black women are deceived. That's what she's saying. Go ahead.
I say they're deceived. I was angry earlier, but I've been waiting to the point that now I got to make myself mad all over again because it was something that was said earlier from a sister. The reproductive rights harm Black women.
You something happened right now. You sound far away.
Okay, hold on.
You sound real far away from your mic.
Hold on.
Now notice while that's getting fixed, just pause it for a second. Reproductive rights. Now we talked about this. I've said this a couple of shows, a couple of classes ago. But that was the platform that this presidential candidate was running on, thinking that they had the votes in the bag. Because they know that we love sin. They know Black women love sin. They know Black men love sin. And the consequence of sex in that manner in fornication is a baby. So they said, well, listen, you don't have to worry about any kind of consequence. We need to make it available for you to get rid of the baby. That way you can have as much fornication as you desire. The man don't have to worry about child support. And the wife don't have, or the woman, I'm saying wife, Lord have mercy. And the woman don't have to worry about feeding a baby and babysitter and all this, but you are free to fornicate all you want. And the moment you have that baby, don't even worry about it. It's just a clot of cells. Just come on in and we'll give you the nice elevator, soft music, put you in the stirrups and put them tools up in you and tear that daggone thing apart in a nice air-conditioned room where you can walk out and you can feel absolved of any wrongdoing. And that's how millions and millions of our babies' lives were extinguished. And it has gotten so bad that we don't even recognize that the word abortion or abort means to stop something that is already in progress. So how in the world could you talk about there's no murder going on? It shows you how the enemy have capsulated our people's brain to the point where they don't even recognize that we are complicit in murder. 100%. So now, play on a little bit more in here because I want to hear about the weeks. I ain't gonna play the whole thing today. Because we can go back and hear it on the other program because I got a lot to bring out. Hit it.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I said harms Black women, and the woman asked earlier about having a woman to speak, and I was just thinking about how women are deceived to have abortions, and being deceived. I mean, even in the word deceived, the word is Eve. She was the first woman to be deceived, and I hate being deceived. Me myself, I went to an abortion clinic.
It is.
I went to an abortion clinic. I was told that it was just a clot of blood. Going through that abortion clinic, it was a crowd with signs saying, calling me a baby killer and all this stuff. And
pause it. That scene there, when these women are going into these places, there's a bunch of protesters outside. That's what he's talking about. That's what she's talking about. I figure y'all all know this, but I've seen those kinds of situations. They be out there with blood all over the gown and all that, all that kind of stuff, holding up signs, going crazy, and they will attack the doctors when they go in. Ask me how I know. I used to have somebody that used to actually work I shouldn't say this. They used to work off duty, used to work and to protect the doctors as they go in. Wow. To secure them. Okay. Go ahead. Many years ago. Go ahead.
when I got in the clinic, they sent a Black woman in. She told me she had 6 children. It was nothing. It was just a clot of blood. I'm dressed in a gown and everything on the table. She came in and said, it's going to be okay. It's just a clot of blood. I'm thinking this. And right before the doctor came in, my phone rang, and it was my OBGYN. And I told my OBGYN what I was getting ready to do. And they said, don't do it. Don't. Come to the office right now. Just come right now and we can talk about it. I'm like, what? What's going on? So I told them, I said, look, I got something to do. So I just left and I went to my doctor's appointment. And I told them, I said, I was getting ready to have an abortion. I mean, what's going on? They said, we're going to give you what you call it when you go see the baby? It's been years.
Ultrasound?
Ultrasound, yes. I wasn't even 3 months pregnant. And they
That's
said,
the number. She wasn't even 3 months pregnant. They were telling her that it was nothing. That's what I was. So that's the first.
I walked in, and wifey was watching it, and I caught the statistics that he was dropping, which is what I'm trying to get back to. I didn't catch this part.
First trimester, basically. She wasn't even 3 months pregnant. Wasn't even 3 months pregnant. She was within the first 3 months. Y'all all right? And they're telling her it's nothing. You got people that's aborting babies, not only in the first, but in the second one, when there's a full deal. Play on, because she's going to tell you what was in this thing.
I said, they told me it was just a clot of blood. They gave me an ultrasound. And with that ultrasound, they showed me the baby had a head, fingers, arms, feet, toes. And so when the woman spoke earlier about what it does to you mentally to carry a baby, do you know what that done to me mentally, to know that I was deceived?
We can stop there. We can stop there. Like I said,
Take it.
I've seen a lot of these kind of women broken up like this here. New York City, working in them hospitals, them psychiatric units.
I know a girl had so many abortions, the doctors told her she can't get no more. They told her if she get another one, she might die. And this was back in the 2000s, 2003, 4.
Female psych units, just like in a prison. And their minds are messed up because there's so many different mess things that they had. I even seen one sister that worked at Merrill Lynch and broke down over something like this here. That was like when I first got there. This was in the 90s when I was working there, in the early 98, around 98. Sister came in, sitting there, and the doctors were dealing with her, and I had to stand there, you know. We got to do.
I need to see if I can go forward a little bit.
Vietnam War every week. That's why you got to let that hit. You got to drive those every.
Since 1973, legal abortion has, I guess, taken, killed, whatever, more African Americans than AIDS, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and violent crime combined. Every week, more blacks die in American abortion clinics than were killed in the entire Vietnam War. And the largest chain of abortion clinics in the United States is operated by Planned Parenthood.
Because I said man and a woman, we together in this. Every week, more babies die in an abortion clinic than the whole war of Vietnam. Just let that sink in. Go ahead. Play on.
The largest chain of abortion clinics in the United States is operated by Planned Parenthood,
which was headed by Margaret Sanger. She's the one that's this is basically her thing. So the largest chain of murder happened up underneath Margaret Sanger's Planned Parenthood creation. Okay, play on.
We have now reached a point in this country that African American women, though they make up 12% of the population, they account for 37% of the abortions. An African American baby is almost 5 times more likely to be aborted than a white child. The abortion industry at this point kills as many African American people every 4 days as the Klan killed in 150 years. And you can truly say the most
in 4 days, every 4 days, not just one time they topped the Klan in 4 days, but every 4 days they topped what the Klan did in 150 years.
most dangerous place for an African American to be is in the womb of their African American mother.
All across America, you can stand outside of the abortion clinics and see a steady stream of Black women coming in and out. But somewhere along the way, we got the idea that this is a white issue or a conservative issue or a Republican issue, and therefore it's not an issue that we have to be concerned about. This same attitude has allowed Planned Parenthood and other members of the abortion industry to carry out this genocide right under our very noses. Right now in America, about half of our babies are being killed in the womb. And in certain parts of America, more of our babies are being aborted than are being born.
So we're losing more than 51% of pregnant Black kids. Go ahead, Captain.
Yeah, Bishop, I just wanted to say that the Black Christian church is right directly in the epicenter, in the middle of this, because in the Black Christian church, they teach that God's laws are done away with. And these young women, they come into the church and they're being hit on by these young men. And you got boyfriend and girlfriend in the church. And people are not being pushed to be married in the church. And then when they have a issue like this where they get pregnant, you got pastors advocating. There were Black pastors that were advocating for Kamala Harris to win the election. And there are Black pastors that are all over social media saying women's body, women's choice. So they're advocating for the murder. They actively working for white supremacy.
Put this up here. Wow. Put this up here.
Rummel's
Go ahead.
Rummel's mid-range estimate in 1997 was that the total deaths due to the Vietnam War totaled 2,450,000 from 1954 to 1975.
That's the entire war. That's the entire number. What's that number again?
2,450,000 from 1954 to 1975.
Kill more than this. Every week, Planned Parenthood in those murder chambers, those death chambers, we killed more of our babies in 1 week than 2.45 million. But we sleep. An enemy has done this. Let's come on. Let's get back to where we was at. So we finished that. Give me my next video. I'm gonna move on. Show this here, right here. The pie chart. Can you read those things on there? Y'all had this on last night. Yes, sir. You know, so I said I got to use it.
Reasons for seeking abortion.
Now, the reason what, again, showing you that they've been lying. Our enemies have been lying. Why? To keep us out of the vision of the Most High. To keep us from reuniting with our God. To keep us severed from our power. And there's been a huge lying campaign that deceived 95%, 95, basically 96%. I'm looking at the dark purple.
Yes, sir.
96% of our women to abort their babies. That's damn near 100% of them. Go ahead. What you got?
Not 96% of our women. That's 96% of the abortions is for that reason.
0.4% is rape and incest.
They tried to say that. They tried to use that as a springboard to advocate for murder. Oh, to advocate for abortion. Let me say it that way. They said, well, what if the woman gets raped? What did it say here?
0.4% is rape.
0.4 is less than 1%. It's actually less than 0.5%.
Yep.
It's less than 0.5%. 0.4 is due to rape and incest. So you put them two together, they don't even come up to 0.5 point. Rape and incest. Incest would be like what Deacon Abiel was showing just earlier. Someone in the family laying down with a daughter or something like that. Grandchildren and all that kind of stuff. That's incest. You put that along with rape, and it doesn't even come up to 0.5%, 0.5 point. That contributes to the total abortion pie chart here. So no. What's the next one?
0.3% risk to the woman's life or a major bodily function.
Because go ahead, you gonna bring out something, Cap? Yeah. Because these points here are what people will consider. They say, well, in these cases, in order to save the mother's life, we have to abort this pregnancy. What is the percentage of that?
0.3%
out of 100%. 0.3.
Wow.
Go ahead. What's the next one?
2.2%. Other physical health concerns.
So basically, all of our women that get pregnant are healthy as hell. Only 2.2% of them have other health concerns. God bless your womb, you woman. What the hell is the matter with you? Only 2.2% of the abortions that get done is because of health problems. What's the next one?
1.2% abnormality in the unborn baby.
Abnormality could be several things, like baby turned around, the wrong way and all that stuff. Or they might see that something's wrong with the baby itself. That's only 1.2%. So the wide world mass majority of our babies that's being murdered in the death chamber are extremely healthy. What's the next point?
95.9% elective and unspecified reasons.
In other words, we ain't got no reasons for these. These women just coming in lying. That's what they're saying. Unspecified meaning just get this thing out of me. I want to continue to have sex with no consequences. They just didn't write all, because you can imagine there's millions of these damn lying ass excuses coming up in this percentage here. So that's why they said we're going to call it undetermined. Because what if they was to actually...
I think I got the gist of it. And that's what I wanted to show y'all. Y'all can do the research for yourself and check those numbers. And they may not be spot on. I don't know. They may be. But I bet they won't be too far off. Very low. Even if you double those, it's still less than 1%. That's 1 out of 100 is 1%. So that's not really what the problem is. Shalom, y'all. In a minute. It's been real. The Decapitation Station. Like, follow, share, subscribe, drop a comment.